the President's cabinet announcement, of course. Let us now discuss this further. We are joined on the line by political analyst Levy Ndou. He's from the Tshwane University of Technology. Good afternoon to you, Levy. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been kept in suspense, of course, but why the delay in the appointment of the new cabinet? Other people say this sort of reflects the impact of two institutions, of course, which is the ANC's Integrity Commission and the Public Protector.
Good afternoon to you, Palisa. Good afternoon to the Figwaseto. Indeed, there has been a lot of developments going on within the ANC. Remember, the ANC now is a very fragmented party. Apart from the issues that relate to the public protector, you have the ANC that has not found it easy to manage factions and divisions within its ranks. At the same time, you have COSATU and the SABC, including SANCO, that has to be consulted in relation to the appointment that the president has to make. You also have to look at the balance. You know, the Polokwane resolution that talks about 50% representation of women. And at the same time, you have the ways of having a representation of young people. So, apart from all the other known factors, you have the issue of a thorough consultation within the structures of the ANC and the alliance. At the same time, you have leaders of the ANC that have to go through the vetting process that is in the hands of the Integrity Commission. And the unfortunate part, you know, is that these are the very same people that President Ramaphosa might have decided to appoint in his cabinet. And indeed, it creates an element of delay. And I think South Africans have been waiting, and the suspense is just too much.
Yeah, and that is basically what many people are saying, that it looks like the president is finding it a bit difficult to do it, because if one looks back, all the incoming presidents since democracy in 1994 had appointed the cabinet, the deputy president, the deputy ministers as well, sort of immediately after their inaugurations. So this is the first time that we're seeing this happen here in the country.
Remember, when President Ramaphosa took office last year, he also took time to make announcements of the ministers. But there are other factors that we need to look at. There is a factor of the reduction of cabinet by President Ramaphosa. And for me, one of the headaches is to say, who do I include in cabinet and who do I leave out? Because he has to come up with a smaller and very efficient cabinet. You also have, at the same time, new people that are supposed to come in who have never been ministers, and young and women representation has to be taken into consideration. And indeed, that becomes a huge headache. At the same time, you have some individuals who are convinced that President Ramaphosa is still going to appoint them, even though they served in the previous administrations. It might sound to be very easy, but this is not a very easy thing to do. But what one would expect would be for the president to get sufficient support and assistance from his party, which I think he would be very much doubtful to trust some individuals, because we know the problems that are there within the party. He must make sure that all factions are satisfied and everybody else is happy, and he must be assisted by people who actually support his vision.
Yeah. We're waiting, of course, Levy, the presidency issuing a statement earlier this week saying that that will happen, of course, sometime this week. But we know that the Constitution is clear about the fact that the president must assume office within 5 days after his election by Parliament. And also that the first sitting of the National Assembly after an election must only take place not later than 14 days after the election results are announced. But, of course, the same Constitution is silent on the cabinet and its appointment. So this sort of gives him time really to think this through thoroughly.
One thing that is real is that President Ramaphosa is aware that the whole nation is waiting for him to make an announcement. And for me, it's also showing South Africans that my people, this is not as easy as you all thought and I thought. I need to appoint people that must serve you for the next 5 years, people who understand the vision that I have of ensuring that we eradicate all the challenges that we have, but also at the same time, he also is under pressure to come up with a team that must deliver. So that is not a very, very easy responsibility. But ordinary South Africans are not interested in the challenges that we face. Ordinary South Africans are actually waiting for the president that they elected to come up with cabinet, and then service delivery has to start.
All right, Levy, we'll leave it at that. Many thanks there to political analyst Levy Ndou from the Tshwane University of Technology, helping us to understand, of course, the delays in terms of the appointment of the new cabinet. As I said, the Office of the President issuing a statement earlier this week saying that that will happen sometime this week. So I suppose we wait and see when that happens.